Hey YouTube, Jeff Lindsay in the garage with you. It's Sunday the 18th. We're neck deep in tail panel, and it's not too bad. Got a few little fitment issues. We got to do a little work on this driver's side where it's holding the panel off there. It shouldn't be too bad. Just got to make a few little cuts and move that in. I've got it bolted in, one bolt on each side. To the bumper brackets on the inside. Those holes did line up pretty well. Same thing on this side. We just got to make a little adjustment here where this panel's contoured in and it's holding this off. But it's pretty close. You can see it's less than half a finger width in there. Top part's lining up pretty well. Same thing on the driver's side. Looking pretty good. Just a few little things we need to take care of. Biggest thing we're going to have to take care of is where I put this patch on the end of the quarter. We didn't come out far enough. We did not extend far enough to come out and meet up here like it should. So we're going to cut this back out and make a new one. And we're going to leave this panel in, bolted in, clamped in, and we'll use that as a guide so we don't have that issue anymore. So we're just going to cut this out, remake it, and bring it on out in here. I hate that turned out the way it did. And I should have known, I should have put the trunk deck in there and seen just how far out that came, because the old piece that came out was so bad. I mean, you really couldn't tell. I guessed at it, and I guessed about 1/4 of an inch wrong. So we'll be redoing that today, and that might be that's a pretty good job, so that might be as far along as we get today. But I'm really happy with the fitment. It could have been a little better, but it probably could have been a lot worse. So we're pretty happy with it, and we're going to get started on that patch piece, and we'll bring you along, and we'll have some progress directly. Alright YouTube, we have wound it down for the weekend. We ended on a semi-positive note. The repair looks really good. Got it in short strand fiberglass, got it smoothed back out. Everything's lining up pretty good. We kind of rebuilt the tail end of that piece where it's clamped. We've got a couple of little issues here and there, and it'll just be something to fight with later on down the road. But I got a question for the second gen guys. Mark, Faster Cat, I know you've been down this road, and Russ, I know you've took your 72 apart in this area, and I don't know if you'll have the answer to this or not, because you hadn't put the tail panel back in. But in this area here, let's see, there's some funky looking bends on this new panel here. I mean, this has almost been out into like a hook area here. And the hole, the bumper guide hole, is lined up fairly well with the hole inside. I don't know if we can see that or not, but it's pretty close there. I can move it around just a little bit. I still got a little bit of clearance up here, but it just looks a little, this whole edge to me looks a little strange. And I wish I'd have paid closer attention when I took mine apart. But you can see that's protruding out. And it comes out, like I say, almost into a hooked area here. This will push in and line up pretty well going down to the bottom. All that's just floating down there right now. Got it bolted in, 2 bolts. And got it pulled up tight on both sides. And like I say, it looks pretty good. I've primarily been working on this side, mainly just trying to get this side to fit a little better, while we've got this side bolted in and clamped up, because we got some real issues over here. We kind of got the same thing going on over here with that little hook out area here, but this quarter patch that I put on is, I mean, it's nothing like the other side, and I knew there was going to be some issues there. Looking there, there's supposed to be a little trench area for that to fit into, and that quarter panel patch is just kind of flat there. I'm gonna have some problems there, I know. But that's what's holding me off right there. And I know that's what's holding me off right there. I really hadn't worked on this side much. And I know I've got a ways to go. But just curious. And the way this looks to me, guys, it looks to me like that bottom, that quarter panel patch may be in toward the center of the car too far. I may have to cut those spot welds loose and let that come out some. Or either this area right here is just because there's no pre-drilled hole in that patch for that line-up bolt to go through, and maybe I'm just looking at it wrong, I don't know. But anyway, that's where we at. We're not in too terribly bad a shape, I don't think. We've got that clamped, which has got it pulled down a little bit. And like I say, that we know this side's got to go in to close that gap, but we still feel like we're gonna have a little bit of a gap there once it's even pushed back in. So we may have to do a little more work on that quarter panel down there after. And you know, it's hard to get things perfect as you go. Sometimes you have to drop back and punt, and we punted one time a day already, and we got away with it there. So you know, that's all part of it, I'm assuming. If it was a perfect deal, everybody'd do it probably. But anyway, YouTube, we got a good bit done, even though it doesn't look like we made a lot of progress. We worked a lot at it, and we made a quarter panel a lot better. It's where it needs to be now. It's out there flush with the tail panel. And I know from looking at cars that those things aren't perfect, that They really don't look like a perfectly smooth gap all the way across. We'll obviously get it as close as we can, and be happy with it. We don't want it to be sloppy looking, but we're gonna get it as good as we can get it, and we'll go from there. But again, Mark and Russ, if y'all have got any comments, ideas on that, I'm thinking the bumper is gonna cover most of that, but basically just kind of, you know, if you've got that far, or I know Mark has, Russ, you may have an aftermarket panel already there, ready to go in. It may be, this is an AMD part, so I know you buy the AMD stuff too, but if you got a comment on it, if you know something, if you can tell I'm missing something, just, you know, holler at me and leave me a comment, or text me, either one, Russ, either way. So we're going to leave it at that, and we'll be back out here in a few days going at it again. I want to thank everybody for watching, putting up with me. I'm enjoying doing the videos and enjoying building the car, and we'll do some more of it directly.